I'll bet it ain't a-raining back home. Bet your sister's still on the phone. I bet mama's in the kitchen cooking fried chicken, wishing that I hadn't done wrong. Oh, but don't you worry about it none, Daddy. It's gonna be all right. We're learning a lesson a day in here. I ain't gonna do that again, I promise you that. We're learning things like ain't no good in an evil-hearted woman, and I ain't cut out to be no Jesse James. You don't go riding hot chicks down in Mississippi. There ain't no good chain gang. Papa's reading yesterday's mail, wishing that the hay was all baled. I bet he's a-wishing we could go fishing. Here I am a-laying in jail. Oh, but don't you worry about it none, Daddy. It's gonna be all right. We're learning lots of things in here. I made you a license plate today. Learning things like there ain't no good in an evil-hearted woman, and I ain't cut out to be no Jesse James. You don't go riding hot chicks when you're down in Mississippi. There ain't no good chain gang. Hey, you don't go riding hot chicks when you're down in Mississippi. There ain't no good chain gang. Oh, no, there ain't. Ain't no good chain gang. Hey, hello, everybody. I'm your host, Mark Allen Cash, and welcome to another Storytellers Sessions. And we've got a great special guest today, but I want to just remind everybody before I get to that, go down in the chat below us here and holler at us if you're watching the premiere. We'd love to talk with you. If you have any requests, let us know. And just send us a $50 bill. No, I'm kidding. If you have any requests, let us know, and we'll be happy to try to get to them. And my guest today is one of the best singers I've heard in a long time. She's goes back like I do. She's an old school singer. You'll get what I'm talking about in just a minute. She got that Loretta Lynn type voice going on, and what a songwriter she is. And ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Brooke McGrady.
Thank you. That's right.
Hi,
very
Brooke.
good. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that intro. It's very nice of you. It means a lot coming from you, so thank you very much.
So much. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Happy to be here. I love this place.
Yeah. Well, give us a number, a tune. Open up with a tune. And
Well, I'm gonna give you a brief story of my journey over the last few years and kind of how I got into music to start with, and then it'll just lead us right into that first song. All right?
Go right ahead.
So anyway, I grew up in a small town in Virginia, and I had parents who drugged me to Sunday school every single Sunday. But I never really did get all that. And I started rebelling at a very young age. And at 19, around 19, I left home and I left the church. And I never looked back. And, I just spent the next 2.5 decades living very wild and crazy lifestyle that was fueled by substance abuse. And, consumed a lot of alcohol and a lot of drugs and anything in between that comes along with living that lifestyle, if you know what I mean. And but the longer I was on that road and the more I went down that road, the more I found myself slipping deeper into the pit. And I guess you could say I took a turn for the worse back into about, 7 or 8 years prior to 2013 when I became addicted to prescriptions. Now, it was mainly pain pills, but it wasn't limited to pain pills, anything, uppers, downers, turnarounders. It didn't matter. I was consuming them, right. And I was on those for a number of years, and I finally just found myself so deep in that pit that I had convinced myself I'd never get out. And I really needed to go to rehab, but I couldn't imagine even trying to put that together at that time to accomplish it. Although, if I'd have been honest with myself and others, I probably could have, but that addict in you is always going to make those excuses.
Right.
And I had just finally come to the conclusion that I was going to die in it. And I was okay with it, and the sooner the better, because I was dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety on levels that I had never dealt with before, and I was just hopeless, and I didn't have any options, and I was just sick and tired of waking up sick and tired. But then, completely out of the blue one day, in October of 2013, something spoke to me, and it just said, if you don't do something to change your life, you're going to be dead. And it shook me. And I believed it. And I was getting ready to go see my doctor that day. And right before I walked out my front door, I said, if anything strange happens between now and the time I get back, I'm going to put these things down today for good. And needless to say, some strange things happened, and I knew by the time I got back in my driveway that it was over. And I quit him that day cold turkey. Now, I don't recommend that.
Oh, I don't either.
Because that's dangerous, and if I had to do it all again, I'd probably do some things differently, but there is no going back now.
Wow.
But anybody that's been through that process knows how difficult that is.
Oh, my goodness.
So the very next day, I knew I wasn't going to be able to overcome in my own strength. And I was by myself at home, and to myself, not even out loud. I guess I said what you could call a prayer. Really, it was a plea. And I just said, God, I know I got myself into this, but I'm going to need some help getting out. And if you're out there, and if you're real, and if you're listening, then, I'm going to need you to show up and start giving me some hope for my future. Mm-hmm. And almost immediately, I was led to turn on the music. And I did. And for whatever reason, I was just led to that old 60s and 70s music that I grew up on. Mm-hmm. And but it was traditional country that really seemed to speak to me. George Jones, Tammy Wynette, Johnny Cash, Merle, of course Waylon, my all-time favorite. And God used that music through that time in some really dark days to help me and speak. It really spoke to me, and it had such an impact on me that very soon after that, I decided that I was going to learn how to play and sing and write three-chord country. Now, I had no idea how I was going to do that because I didn't know anything about playing a guitar or singing.
Really?
No, nothing. I knew nothing. I mean, I still don't know much, but I didn't know nothing then, okay? But I knew without a doubt, if I just stayed the course and stayed on the right track and took it one day at a time, that, God was going to show me how to put my story to song, and I was going to go out and share it with others who might need to hear it. And long story short, here I am.
Well, you just told my story.
Yeah.
I've been exactly down the same road, and there's no need for me to repeat it. I mean, you just said it, and I've been clean and sober now 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And it's, somebody told me that's a good start.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm on that journey with you as well, and so glad that you told us that and shared that, and it presents a vulnerability that we're not used to.
Right.
And but if it helps one person,
right, it's exactly
that
right.
there is hope, that there's somewhere other. You don't have to do this anymore.
Right.
Type thing, and you don't.
There is hope.
Yeah, I just lost my sister Paula.
Yes.
To alcoholism.
Right.
And 50 years old, and what a tragedy. She was such a force of nature, so much a force of life. I miss her deeply. But, well, fantastic. Well, we'll talk more.
Absolutely.
And glad that you're here, and you're going to give us a song?
I'm going to give you a song. This first one I'm going to do, I actually wrote with a friend of mine. We were getting ready to do a gig together, and he sent me some lyrics. And he said, see what you can do with it.
All right.
And I looked at it, and I was going to put it to the side, but it was one of those songs that just came to me, and that doesn't happen very often. But I wrote it in about 30 minutes, and I wanted to keep it pretty close to his ideas and his lyrics. So it is from the man's perspective. But just like any song that I write, there is something of mine in there. I have to pull it from that place, or it wouldn't have the heart in it, I guess you could say.
There you go.
But I think we can all kind of relate to this one. And the name of it is called The Wagon. Let's try it one more time.
That's all right.
In my youth I was known to ramble, I was wild and hard to handle. Trouble always seemed to follow me. I had me a gun, a daisy red rider, a big red wagon radio flyer. Out on the road I was free. But Then I got to going downhill, fell off the wagon, got under the wheel. It took some time for the scars to heal. But as I age, I understand when you're going downhill as fast as you can, it'll be the scars that'll make or break the man. Well, I've always loved the chase, the thrill. I fall off the wagon, I'm under the wheel. It's the song of my life, it makes me real. When the glory of the ride is gone, I take a pen, put it in the song, get back up on the wagon and ride on. Well, I guess you could say that I still ramble, still get wild and hard to handle, out on the road chasing a dream. But now I ride the radio wire instead of my old radio flyer, singing to the sound of an old six string. And when I get to going downhill, fall off the wagon, get under the wheel, it takes more time for the scars to heal. But as I age, I understand when you're going downhill as fast as you can, it'll be the scars that'll make or break the man. Well, I've always loved the chase, the thrill. I fall off the wagon, I'm under the wheel. It's the song of my life, it makes me real. When the glory of the ride is gone, I take a pen, put it in the song, get back up on the wagon and ride on. Yeah, get back up on the wagon and ride on.
Oh, I love it.
Love it.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you. So anyway, this next one that I'm going to do, you know, music is such a powerful thing. You know, it really is. There's healing power in it, and I know that because I've lived it.
Absolutely.
And I've often wondered what it was about, you know, that some people call it traditional country, but that 60s and 70s country that just seemed to speak to me like it did. You know, I'm not the only one that tells that story either. I've heard many people talk about that genre of music really speaking to them and helping them through a difficult time. And I've tried to find the words to explain, you know, why it was that music. And I was watching that Ken Burns documentary. You know what I'm talking about the history of country music.
Loved it, yeah.
And Marty Stuart was on there, and he's so wise. You know, every time you get an opportunity to hear him on anything, man, I just hang on to every word. He's a very wise soul.
You can listen to Marty Stuart for 3 minutes and you learn so much.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just so knowledgeable. Yeah. And he summed up what I had been trying to say for so long about country music. And he said something to the effect, I'm not quoting him, but something like country music is strange in that it's full of faith and hope, even if the song has nothing to do with faith and hope. And it's so true. I was like, man, that is exactly what I've been trying to say about country music, and it's so true. And it's just, I don't know what it is or why it was that music that God led me to, but I know that He used it to help save my life. And I sure do appreciate all those that have come, you know, before me and paved the way and gave us all that great music to, you know, listen to and live by, and all those great morals and you know, sometimes not, but it's all good. You know, it's all good. And a lot of those guys, you know, they live life. We all do. We live life, and it's about, you know, learning from those mistakes and getting back up every time.
That's right.
And keep going forward, moving forward. And a lot of those guys did. And Johnny Cash is a great example of a man of faith. And, you know, he's a very inspiring person. And I know that's probably what he'd want to be remembered for. And I know this place is carrying on his legacy in a positive way. And I sure do appreciate it. And I want to thank you all again for having me out here if I didn't say that before.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
We're glad you're here as well.
But anyway, getting to this next song, like I said, I was always trying to figure out the words to say and explain country music, and even though I couldn't find the words to speak it as perfectly as Marty Stuart did, I did find the words to write a song that talks about the healing power of music. And I'm going to go ahead and do it now if you want me to. Anyway, the name of this one is called Sing. Well, it's been told a song can reach the soul, yeah, and I think that's right. Some will make you cry, some can get you high or help you through the night. Yeah, some know just how you feel, some have the power to heal when they lead you to the light. A song can bring you to your knees or get you up on your feet. It's more than words and melody, it's a mighty and powerful thing. Oh, and it must be, 'cause even the angels sing. Yeah, it's a mighty and powerful thing. Oh, and it must be, 'cause even the angels sing. Now I write the song, sometimes you sing along, sometimes where they cut deep. And I've sacrificed, God knows I've paid a price, 'cause songs, they don't come cheap. Yeah, and I know I'm earning my keep when a song I'm writing to sing drops a tear to my guitar string. A song can bring you to your knees or get you up on your feet. It's more than words and melody, it's a mighty and powerful thing. Oh, and it must be, 'cause even the angels sing. Yeah, it's a mighty and powerful thing. Oh, and it must be, 'cause even the angels sing. Even the angels sing. Even the angels sing.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
What a voice. I love your
Thank
voice.
you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and let's say hi to Shelby real quick. Hi, Shelby.
Hey,
There's my
Shelby.
wife, Shelby. That she's our sidekick. You know, don't you think she makes a good one?
I think she's a wonderful sidekick.
That's so
she does a
sweet.
great
Thank
job.
you.
She helps me right along. I'll tell you that. I don't know what I'd do without her. So welcome to the show with Shelby.
Thank you so much.
And if you guys want to ask her questions, feel free to. She's on the chat as well. And so, Brooke, you're from Virginia.
Virginia,
correct?
that's right.
And you know any Carters that are from that area?
I might. I mean, I know a lot of people, and some people I try to forget, so maybe.
Yes, I
Maybe
understand. And so it's about a 7-hour drive from here?
Yeah, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
exciting when you're getting here, so it goes by pretty quick.
You came in yesterday then, right?
Yes, yeah, we got here yesterday.
Fantastic. You know, and so you've played a lot in Nashville though, haven't you?
I've played a few places. I've been here. I've been here once on the stage, and I've been out to the farm last year for their Songwriters Festival.
Yeah, yeah.
And I record here. I record here actually with a guy named Barny Robertson. He was Waylon's keyboard player for
Yeah,
a very long time,
yeah,
and
right.
I've been very fortunate to have met and worked with Waylon's band, Waymore's Outlaws, and we've done a couple albums together, collaborated on a couple of things. So I come out here and record and do stuff like that
Yeah,
too.
those guys are super guys
They
too.
are
Not only are
incredible
they
people.
fantastic pickers, of course, but just nice guys. I like all of them. Yeah.
Absolutely, they're great people. Like I always say, Waylon sure knew how to pick them.
Yeah,
He really did.
You know, Waylon passed away at 64 years old.
Yeah.
Just such a short life he lived. But he brought a lot of great music
He certainly did.
to us for us to remember forever, you know.
Yeah.
But so do you like do you like Tennessee or Virginia best?
You know,
or is there-
they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's there's a good music scene that goes on there in Virginia because, we have Bristol and all that stuff too. So there's a lot of roots in Virginia as far as country music goes. And the Carter family, they come from Virginia.
Right.
And, a lot of my family comes from up in Pulaski and that area up there, close to where they come from. So I love both areas, actually.
I do too. And Uncle Johnny performed his last show in Virginia.
That's right, at the Carter family fold.
He sure
That's
did.
right.
He
I
did.
read that the other day.
And he was old. He bless his heart. And inside, he was 71 when he passed away, which was too early. But he was tired. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
Tell us about, how do you write a song? How do you get into it? I know there's different ways.
Well, I believe it's a gift, and I believe it comes from a place that, for me anyway, it's hard to explain. I don't have any set way that I do it. I just sometimes sit down and it'll come, which is not very often. And then sometimes I have to really work at it. But the main thing is you got to live it. Mm-hmm. That's usually, through some sort of difficult season or some victory. It could be either one. That's usually when you get your best material. But I usually write alone. I haven't had a lot of opportunity to write with other writers, so I usually write by myself. I have co-written some things together with other people, but
I write better alone myself too. But I fully agree with what you said. You gotta live it.
Yeah.
People say, Mark, we like what you do. You pick good songs is what it is. I pick songs that I can relate to if I'm doing a cover, if I didn't write it. And of course, if I wrote it, I went through it and I feel it from, 100% in my heart.
It's got to come from the heart.
And your delivery comes off better, I think, if you believe in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
If you believe in Nissans and you're selling them, you'll sell the fire out of them.
That's right. You got to sell your product for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's have another song out of Brooke, will you?
All right, sure. Let me see. Well, I'll do one, and I'll do this one because, nobody ever told me that when you would try to get your life together, that the devil was going to come after you.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you know what I mean. And I've weathered more storms over the last 6 years, probably than all the years before that. But one thing that I've come to realize is, God doesn't promise us that life will be easy. As a matter of fact, He says it's going to be pretty difficult. But He does promise that He'll be there, for us through it all. And that's what I've learned, and will also, come out better people for, the trials and tribulations that we go through. That's just part of life.
Yeah.
And it's a labor of love when you decide to respond to a call that God puts on your life. It really is a labor of love, and you go through so many things. But I feel like I'm a walking miracle. I really do. But faith isn't grown through miracles, really. Faith is strengthened in the test and in the trials through life. And like I said before, you come out a better person for them all. But I was going through a wave a few years ago of one thing after another, after another, after another, And it was still in those early days, and I wasn't feeling the greatest. I wasn't sleeping much. And I'd get up in the mornings, and I woke up one morning, man, I'll never forget it. I was just not feeling the day. And the sun was coming up, and there was a ray of sunlight coming right through the blind in the little hole, just where it could peek through, and it was shining right in my eyeball. And I can remember thinking, devil, not today. And as soon as those words came to me, I was like, I got to write a song about that. So I wrote a song about it. And I got up that day, and this came out. And the name of this one is Devil Not Today.
Brooke McGrady,
I woke up feeling low down and blue, and I could tell you a thing or two about the devil coming for his due. With the rising sun in my view, yes I could. Well, this too will pass, oh I know. Sometimes I get haunted by the ghost that waits outside a door I close. Back some years ago, I only have myself to blame for the fuel I added to the flames of all the hell I've raised. But devil, not today. So you can go on, wait outside that door, but I don't know what you're waiting there for. I am not afraid. I don't believe in ghosts anyway. That debt's already been paid. So devil, not today. Now for my own peace of mind, I gotta take it one day at a time, but I'll be fine come the rain or shine. 'Cause even clouds can have a silver line. Well, yes, they can. And although I lose my way, because the sun died but rose on that day, there's no more hell left for me to pay. So devil, not today. So you can go on, wait outside that door, but I don't know what you're waiting there for. I am not afraid. I don't believe in ghosts anyway. That debt's already been paid. So devil, not today. I woke up feeling low down and blue. Thank you. Thank you.
I like your groove. It's different, and it needs to be.
Yeah,
you know?
it's something. I don't know what it is. But
Yeah, well, it works well
guess.
for you, and it works well. And you said you just started playing guitar. How long ago?
I started during the beginning of this whole journey. So it's been about. I wrote my first song probably about 6 years now.
Wow,
6 years ago.
I tell you what, it's like you've been playing all your life.
Well,
you know,
I mean,
so-
I'm not a picker. I'm not a guitar picker. I'm just 3-chord country strummer. You know what I'm saying?
Three chords and the truth, right?
That's right. That's all I can do, and it is what it is. And it ain't what it ain't.
Oh, I know it. Well, I like it. And it's
Thank
working
you.
for you, for
Thank
sure,
you. I
you know.
appreciate
And
that.
I know people are really going to enjoy you
I hope so.
out here. And, you know, and I'm so glad you're doing well, you know. And what a life we live in addiction, you know.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be alive, but here I sit.
That's
you
right.
know.
Well, there's a reason.
Yeah, I agree
sure.
with that. I do too. I do too. And maybe I'll do one before we close today, but one that I wrote about my struggles. But you mentioned Marty Stuart.
Yep.
And I've known Marty, I'm not name dropping, but I've known Marty all my life. I probably met Marty when I was 15, 16 years old. You know, he was married to my cousin Cindy.
That's right.
And in the Johnny Cash Show band for several years,
Right.
6 years. And so I got to be around him quite a bit,
That's
you know.
awesome.
And I'm going to do a Marty Stuart song.
Please do.
It's called Tomorrow. Tomorrow's uncertain. Today was yesterday. We're granted our assurance when we kneel down and pray. And our Heavenly Father knows the future and the past. He'll lead us through whatever comes, if on His name we'll ask. If the days are filled with sunshine, if they're dark and cold, as long as I've got Jesus, I can face tomorrow. Tomorrow's one day closer to heaven's perfect plan. And it's good to know that while we wait, He holds us in His hand. No matter is too great, no measure is too small. He knows our needs on His soul our feet, if on His name we'll call. See, I do too. So if the days are filled with sunshine, if they're dark and cold, as long as I've got Jesus, I can face tomorrow. Marty Stuart, Tomorrow. Man.
Beautiful.
He, I think Sharon Easter, or the Easter, Jeff and Sherry Easter, I think they cut that. I might be mistaken, but what a song. I like that.
Yeah, it's a great.
Tomorrow, as long as we got Jesus, we'll be all right. That's the way I feel anyway today.
A lot of truth in that song.
Yes. And so, what do you do in Virginia when you're not picking and singing?
Well, I do sell real estate, and of course, I'm a mom.
Real estate?
Yeah, been selling real estate for a long time.
Have
on
you?
Smith Mountain Lake, and it's a beautiful, beautiful lake up there, man-made lake. And we live near the lake, not on the lake, but we have a lot of fun on the lake too. But
is real estate business tough today? I mean,
actually, it's been pretty busy this summer. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? But right now it's been pretty busy.
Yeah,
It's a resort town, so
Yeah, my dad was with Crylike for 20 years. I
Really?
think. Yeah. He enjoyed it. He needed something to help supplement his income. When he wasn't touring, so he said that he's a people person, so it worked out great.
Right.
Go out and get to talk to folks. And
That is hard work too.
yeah, it is.
It is. It
Yeah.
can be a lot of
Juggling
fun,
mom.
but it's a lot of work.
Well, Dad said that his biggest issue with it was, real estate's what you put into it, and he's traveled a lot, also.
Yeah.
So, he missed some deals, and missed
Right.
some opportunities to sell but he still had a good time. He enjoyed it.
It's 24/7. I mean, you
Yeah,
gotta be
I
on
bet
top
it
of
is.
it for sure.
Yeah. And I guess you to get into that business, you've got to have a plan for sure.
Yeah.
You can't just depend on the income immediately. I'm sure. I don't know.
Well,
You
it's
can tell I
that
haven't sold
commission
those.
type thing. It's
Yeah.
kind of like music. You're not gonna get paid unless you.
Right.
Hustle.
Right. Well, and so how can people find you? What?
Well, the best place to follow me, I have a LLC that I started called GenRev Music, GenRev. That's one word, GenRev Music. Of course, GenRevMusic.com. But I do a lot through Facebook just because it's I'm not a huge social media fan, but as far as doing, longer videos and things like that, Facebook right now is the best outlet for that. So GenRev Music on Facebook would be the best place to follow me. But of course, I'm on Twitter and all that other stuff
Yeah.
too, and
Good.
Instagram. I don't
Good
do too good. I need to do better.
Well, I can't do it. There's too much going on, and I get
Yeah.
on Facebook and I get lost.
I know, and it's just it'll suck the time right away, and you're just like, what am I doing on here?
Some people don't treat people right on there,
they don't, yeah.
I wish they did, you can't control what others do, but they've never treated me bad, but I've seen the way they treat each other sometimes, and I'm like, come on, y'all. That's not right.
Well, it's a tool that can be used for either or.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's really up to you what you decide to
Exactly.
use it for. I try to use it for the music and share, material and stories and things like that. I need to do better. Like I said, I need to do better with that. But that's the best place to, kind of check out what I'll be doing in the future.
Well, fantastic. Well, let's have another song from you, Brooke.
All right. This one, anytime I do a gig or an event that is catered around original music, I try to write something new if it comes to me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But a couple weeks ago, I was trying to work on a song, but it never really went anywhere. It's actually a strange story because you have a little bit to do with it, actually. I was sitting on my bed one night. I was getting ready to call it a night, and I picked up my guitar, and I looked in my living room, and my grandmother's and my grandfather's Bibles are on the mantle. And I just strummed this little rhythm and melody, and this first lyric came to me about Grandma's Bible, and I was like, well, maybe there's something there, And I worked on it the next couple of days, and I have a 14-year-old son that has a musical ear, so I get his advice sometimes on songs, and he'll be straight. He'll be blunt. but he's got the ear, so I,
You
out
trust
of the
it,
mouth
yeah.
of babes, whatever they say, out of the mouth of babes. But he says, like, Mom, you really want to do a song about Grandma's Bible? I mean, don't you think there's been enough songs probably about Grandma's Bible? I was like, you know what, he's probably right. So it took me in the direction where I wanted to put the focus on the Bible itself. And not so much Grandma's Bible, even though it came from her Bible and seeing it that night.
Right.
And I finished the song up, and before I went to go really burn it in my brain, because, when you write something, you got to burn it in there so that you can, sing it from that place and sing it from the heart and not think about your next move when you're live.
Right.
So right before I was getting ready to burn it in my brain, I sat back down with him, and he's like, Mom, maybe you still got that Grandma's Bible thing in there. Why don't you make a Mama's Bible or something? I was like, well, maybe I should. Well, that same night, you all did an episode where you were telling the story about your grandmother and her wanting you to record Amazing Grace.
Right.
And for whatever reason, I just knew right in that moment it needed to be Grandma's Bible.
Well, fantastic.
So I was like, you know what, I am going to keep
That's
it that.
cool.
It's what it was supposed to be originally, and I'm
glad I helped you out there.
Well, I mean, thank you, and thanks to your grandmother. I mean, I just believe that everything that we do, does echo through eternity. And, it's what we leave, the traces that we leave behind. So somewhere in there, I want to thank you and your grandmother for helping me
Thank you so much.
do this song. But, I had a faithful set of grandparents that I know without a doubt. When I was younger, it was those seeds that they planted that took root, and, prayers that they were praying for me all those years, through those dark years, that got me through some really difficult, dark times. And then when I did decide to change my life, I know it was those seeds that took root that have helped navigate me through these last few years. And I believe that there is past generations had a biblical knowledge that, honestly, I feel like is disappearing. And, it affects us and our world more than we even realize.
Right.
So that's really the direction that I wanted to, at least I tried to put it in that direction. It's kind of, put that into a song. So anyway, the name of this one is The Bible. By the window, on the table, is Grandma's Bible. Time has weathered and worn, but inside, not a single page is torn. It's been passed down through the years, and somehow it got here, but no one reads it anymore. Why it stood the test of time and now weighs heavy on my mind, well, I'm not sure. The whole world's changing, everything is rearranging. No one seems to know the way we should go. And I wish I could recall Grandma's words to us all back when I was young, about things to come. 'Cause she was humble and wise, knew how to read between the lines, and maybe someday I'll be able. But since she's been gone, the Bible sits alone on the table. When I'm walking along, my mind wanders on Grandma's Bible story about the dark before the dawn and finding the sun in the middle of the storm. It's wisdom passed down through the years, and somehow it's still here, but no one needs it anymore. But it has stood the test of time and now weighs heavy on my mind like never before. 'Cause the whole world's changing, everything is rearranging. No one seems to know the way we should go. And I wish I could recall Grandma's words to us all back when I was young about things to come. 'Cause she was humble and wise, knew how to read between the lines, and maybe someday I'll be able. But since she's been gone, the Bible sits alone on the table. Yeah, since she's been gone, the Bible sits alone on the table.
Wow,
Brooke,
very
let me tell you,
nice.
Thank you.
she's proud of you on that. That is a great song.
I hope so.
Well, it's deep. That is
Yeah.
really, and I love the melody.
Yeah.
The minors and sharps you throw in there, and your
Well, it'll get better
your
as I
vocal
learn
goes
it.
right with it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I really like that.
Thank
have
you.
Have you got that recorded?
Well, I've been working on some demos. A lot of this stuff is new. I haven't recorded it yet, but I am in the studio getting demos, just get the copyright and all that stuff for them. So we are going to be doing some singles locally at a local studio I'm working with. Just some stripped down, just real simple singles I want to put out on some of these. So that's what we're going to be working on next.
Yeah, that's all you need. You
Yeah.
know, that's all you need.
Yeah.
And I like that. Keep it simple, and that's
Yeah.
the best thing. I'm proud of that for you. I'm telling
Thank
you.
you.
And I love your voice. Doesn't she have a great voice?
Yeah, I love it.
Appreciate that.
Very, very nice.
Has Loretta Lynn never heard you?
No, I mean, I doubt it. I doubt that. But anybody that wants to send her my stuff, go right ahead.
She'd love the way you sing.
Yeah.
I've heard that before, actually, specifically Loretta Lynn. So people must hear something in my voice. So that's a huge compliment. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Anytime you can get down here, we want you to come.
Absolutely. I come every time I get an opportunity. I love it.
And if you're enjoying the show, ladies and gentlemen, and I know you are, and you're enjoying Brooke, please subscribe, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. And join us down in the chat right now if you're here for the premiere, 7 p.m. that we started. And who did you bring with you today?
Well, I've got my son. And I've got my man over there, Stacy.
Yeah.
And we
Stacy.
play-
Hey,
I
Stacy.
drag them everywhere.
Stacy, you stay in the background, right? Far back. Yeah.
Oh, he's security, and he does a lot.
Yeah. I bet he looks like he could handle just about anything.
Well,
that
he
came
doesn't
his way.
complain nearly as much as he used to.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Well, but when I got here and got into town, Brian Oxley, the man that has this property,
Right.
The little stage here, Storytellers Museum, also owns my grandmother's house out in
Right.
Hendersonville, and he's been so generous in letting us go there and use it when we need to, Thanksgiving and things like that. But I was living there when I was getting sober, and there's a guy that lived down the road, and his name is Robert Johnson. And this guy is a talent that is unbelievable. He's a producer, and he had a lot to do with Celine Dion, and he had a lot to do with, he's even produced some stuff on Leonard Skinner back in the day and all that. He knows all those guys,
Right, right.
But he wrote a song about the farm called Rusty Ground, and he brought it to me, and he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Robert, I love it." He said, "Good, I want you to sing it." I said, "Robert, I can't sing that song, man," because he was singing it. It's
Right.
like this, Rusty Ground, He said, "You can do it." And I said, "I don't think so." He said, "I'd make a deal with you. Let's cut it. Let's put your vocal on it. And if you can't hook it, we'll throw it in the garbage."
Right.
And I think we did hook it. And I'm
Awesome.
proud of him. He got more out of me than I think anybody ever has.
Yeah.
But here's a song that I'll do for you called Rusty Ground that Robert Johnson wrote. And Robert, I'm proud of this song, and I'm proud of you, my friend. All right, let me put my glasses back on so I can see what I'm doing, so we don't play London Bridge is falling down or something, There's a thin space between earth and sky, where wind and water know no time. There's a mountain waiting to climb, where angels fly. A seed is planted among bullets and cannons, the land she cries. Lord, break open this rusty ground. Let it all come forth, let us hear the sound. Telling stories that trouble and console, lighting our hearts on fire, never lose our soul. To this rusty ground, to this rusty ground. To this rusty ground. There's a white porch up on a hill, 6 angels watching the task fulfilled. A light shines forth, there springs light, time is here still. Morning arises over deep green fields, the hills they sing. Lord, break open this rusty ground. Let it all come forth, let us hear the sound. Telling stories that trouble and console, lighting our hearts on fire, never lose our souls. To this rusty ground, to this rusty ground. Let us hear the sound. To this rusty ground. Rusty ground. Lord, break open this rusty ground. Let it all come forth, let us hear the sound. Telling stories that trouble and console, lighting our hearts on fire and even touch our soul. To this rusty ground, to this rusty ground. Let us hear the sound. Into this rusty ground. Oh, rusty ground. Into this rusty ground. Great job Robert Johnson did on that. What a track. Thank you so much. What a
Very
record,
nice.
I think.
Very haunting.
Very well, yeah.
Very haunting.
Very well written. One of the best guys, and just a nice guy too. You know,
Beautiful song.
He's encouraged me, especially in the beginning. You know, when I needed encouragement and getting sober. You know, when you first start to get sober, you don't know how you feel, and you don't know how you feel about not knowing how you feel.
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't know anything.
No. I mean, you know, my therapist told me that. It's Brooke. It's
like
funny you should
starting
say
over.
that. You know, I said I'm 50 years old. I know a few things. He said, "No, you don't."
No.
And I don't. I was standing out by the mailbox trying to pay my bills to the mailman. I didn't know any better.
story.
I didn't know how to pay a
It's
bill.
like starting from scratch.
I didn't know how to pay a bill when I got sober. I thought that I don't know what I thought. I don't know, but
It's a trip, man.
yeah,
It's a
you know,
trip.
and you got to learn, you know, things that come natural for people our age. I know you're a lot younger than I am, but things that come natural don't come natural to
No.
us, you know, and it takes a lot of work here, you know.
It does.
So anyhow, I've really enjoyed you today.
Thank
and,
you.
Your testimony and being vulnerable and talking about your life and the path that addiction took you is tough.
Right.
And, you open yourself up like that. And I think it shows your strength,
Well,
and
it's something bigger than me. I
Right.
wasn't always this way, and I would have never, been able to do this before. So I can't take the glory for that. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it comes from somewhere else, much stronger than me.
Absolutely. If we start thinking we got it,
No.
we're in trouble, right?
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. And I agree. And it's the only way I have found to ever, and I'll just say this, and I'll let you. I couldn't. The cravings I had for alcohol were just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I would all day long. I would drink Cokes and eat candy bars and try my best to get my mind off of it, but I couldn't.
Right.
It was that obsession that just. And before midnight, I was drunk. But a lot of Coke and candy bars in me too.
Yeah.
So you're talking about an energized drunk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so.
Sorry.
But my dad is in the program. He wouldn't mind me telling you that, but he would tell you that if he was here. And he always told me, you don't have to live that way anymore.
That's right.
You don't have to live this way, Mark. And I didn't know any. I thought you did, And I wouldn't go back to alcohol today for any rhyme or reason. I mean, I could.
good.
I get the craving again. I know I'm going to be an alcoholic the rest of my life.
But it passes.
Right, and I grab on and hold on, and here we go, and,
Yeah.
and a new day is born. So I want to thank you for sharing
Thank you.
your testimony, and good luck to you, and you're doing the right thing. You really are.
I
You're
hope
doing
so. I
that.
try. I mean, you make mistakes, but you just keep going.
Right.
You
And
learn
you
as
got
you
a lot
go.
of talent. See,
Thank you.
God gave you a gift.
Well, absolutely, and I want to do what I felt like I was set out to do, which is get the music to the people that might need to hear it. What my original goal was in the beginning. I'm going to keep doing that, and that's it makes it fun, and it's not easy. I mean, it's a choice what we decide to do. When you decide to get sober, it's something you have to decide, and you really got to be ready to do it. And the key for me was really starting to enjoy the simple things again, because
Right.
when you start so young, turn into other things, you forget how the simple things can really fill your time and fill your days. And there's a lot, they're sweet. Victories are so sweet when you're sober.
Right.
There's not the highs and the lows that you used to have, but you're even and it's peaceful.
It is. I get to see the sun come up sometimes, and I think, wow.
You really appreciate it.
Yeah, you do.
And it doesn't get old either. It's
No,
not just
right.
something in the beginning when you
Right.
first got sober. It's forever.
That's right.
You see something different almost.
So if you're struggling with alcohol or drugs out there, there is a way out.
Right.
There is. I didn't think there was. But Shelby, have you got anything to add to our show today?
Actually, I do. We are going to put all of the notes and down below the show, so that way you have all the links that you need to get in touch with us. If you enjoyed the show, please give us a thumbs up and comment any thoughts or any requests that you might have of us. Also, please be sure to share the video with your friends and get that music out there.
That's right.
And then we look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. And we'll
That's
be back
right. Help
here
us
to
get
chat
the
with
word
you.
out there.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody
That's-
might need to hear what we had to say.
They
today.
might. You
right.
never know.
One person, like
one
you said
person.
earlier. One
If
person.
you just
is
take,
all it
that's
takes.
all if I could help one person. I tell these kids, and I'll be quiet. I tell these kids that come in here that want to get in the music business, and they're playing these gigs and carrying these guitars around. I tell them, you leave the alcohol and drugs alone,
Yeah.
you'll succeed. You'll go as far as you want to
That's
go.
right.
You pick up that drink and drug, and you have an issue with it, you'll never go anywhere.
It's tough in this business too, not to turn
It
to
is,
that.
and that's why I tell them that, because they're playing all these bars and clubs and stuff in the past. I know we're not doing that today, but maybe I don't know. But anyway, thank you, Shelby, for sharing
Yeah.
and for
Thanks,
telling
guys.
the folks out there to help us make this thing grow. So we can. And everybody, I think music is a healer, as
That's
you
right.
said earlier.
Exactly. It's a
Well, would you
powerful
take
thing.
us out with a song? And thank you for being here again. And thank you for everybody for being here at the Storyteller Session. And we will see you again next week, Thursday night at 7 p.m. Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you. This song that I'm going to do, actually, I wrote it a couple years ago, and a friend of mine had sent me a message, and she said, I got the title for your next song, and it's called Slow Moving Rain. I was like, okay. So I started working on it, and originally I started thinking of a mutual friend that she and I had who had just lost his dad. But it was actually right before I came out here the first time, and I was, reading a bunch of stuff about Johnny and watching some more, documentaries and stuff on him, just to refresh my memory on all the things I already knew.
Right.
It never gets old. So as I finished the song, it really changed meanings because of all that. There were some strange things that happened, and I'm not going to get into all that right now, maybe some other time. But by the time I was finished with it, it really became an anthem to all of those who have come and gone before me, and not just them, but all the people who work behind the scenes to keep things like this going, the Oxleys, and every venue across the country. I know it's struggling right now. Right. And, the family and the bands and all the people that have been so good to me and supported me, everybody involved with them. I really just want this song to be an anthem to them all, and Slow Moving Rain really became a metaphor, I guess you could say, for all those guys that have come and gone before me and paved the way in their music. Even though they're gone, their music is still making a huge impact, and I'm living proof of that. Absolutely. And God's using them still. But anyway, since I wrote this song, I try to close every show out with it, and today's no different. And the name of it is Slow Moving Rain. Well, there's a slow rainfall on his last ride across town, and like the tears that fill my eyes, I hear every drop that hits the ground. And I guess I should be happy, 'cause I know he's homeward bound. But my heart keeps hanging around the lonesome sound of a slow moving rain, hanging heavy the sky, and until we meet again in the sweet by and by. Well, I'll know your glory bound where no earthly sorrows can be found, when I hear the sound of a slow moving rain coming down. Well, last night I turned to the whiskey to dry these tears in my eyes, but this morning I woke up to that same dark, cloudy sky, and that rain just like me. Well, you know it was coming down, and my heart is still hanging around the lonesome sound of a slow moving rain, hanging heavy in the sky, and until in the sweet by and by. Well, I'll know your glory bound where no earthly sorrows can be found, when I hear the sound of a slow moving rain coming down. When I hear the sound of a slow moving rain coming down.